Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is December 10th, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery. There's the Malibu fire right here, and you can see the smoke pouring out over the ocean. You can see some dust being lifted by the winds just south of the Los Angeles metro and across some of San Diego out here. I don't believe that is fire smoke. It's probably just the strong winds picking up some dust, pushing out over the water. But again, all it takes is a spark. Things are primed to burn here across Southern California, and this Malibu fire is no joke. There's evacuation orders and a lot of information going out about that fire. Some structures are being threatened. Taking a look at where the extremely critical risk is for today, and you don't have to be in the critical or extremely critical risk. You can be outside of some of these areas and still be subject to some of this extreme fire behavior. Again, all it takes is a spark. Be very careful out there. And if you want to go to malibucity.org, there is more detail on that. The evacuation orders, they have the emergency alert up there as well. You can see the Franklin fire in Malibu Canyon has spread over Pacific Coast Highway. Again, threatening structures and whatnot here. So go ahead and check this out if you need more information, and hopefully you are aware of this if you are in the general area. Evacuation orders are in effect for some regions. And this is Los Angeles. Again, still the particularly dangerous situation goes on about through this afternoon. You might want to consider that on and through tonight as well, because we're going to still have the offshore wind. So any fire that does get going is going to be fueled by these winds all the way on in through tomorrow, Wednesday. So we have the high wind warning, special marine warnings for some very strong winds out over the open water also. So yeah, interesting situation here. These fires, again, they can start in seconds and they can be upon you in seconds. So be very careful out there. And I did want to point this out. They have some pretty extreme wording in here. Again, the long range spotting. That is when you have the extreme fire behavior where the embers are being lifted well up into the atmosphere. And then those strong winds can blow them miles downstream. And those embers can set things on fire very far away from the fire itself. So these conditions are rivaling other historic fires in recent times, including the Mountain and Thomas fire. So yeah, heads up there. Hopefully this doesn't come into fruition here, but you got to be aware. And you can see all the wind reports here. Check this out. This wind report here of 93 miles per hour. A lot of other gusts up over 60, some up over 70, 76 as well. So yeah, very strong winds coming in some of these reports, and probably just not as many people reporting down here across places, the higher terrain east of San Diego, that are picking up some big winds as well. You can see some of these strong winds out there. You know, looks like an overturned semi truck out there. So yeah, the Santa Ana winds are active and they are blowing. And here's San Diego. Kind of gives you an overall view of where the red flag warnings are for the day today. You have an uncluttered map there. Now, here's the relative humidity. If I put this into motion, you can clearly see the offshore winds that are going on. This would be about 10 a.m. here, so in a couple hours. But you can see low relative humidities, strong offshore winds continuing through the day today. They do lighten up as we go through tonight and on it through tomorrow, but they're still going to be offshore. So anything that is burning out there will continue to be fueled by these low relative humidities. But by the time we get towards Thursday morning, we start to switch things up and we bring back some westerlies across the area, and we're going to start to moisten things up at least a bit as we go through the day Thursday, as you can see at the very end of that run. So good news there. Now, taking a look at 80-meter wind speeds, this is as we go through this morning. This is about 8 a.m., 9, 10, 11. There's noon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, midnight. You see these winds are continuing on all the way through midnight. We go on in through Wednesday, and still, just because they become lighter doesn't mean the fire danger is still not there. And anything burning will continue to burn until we can moisten things up here and let the firefighters get out there and do their thing and put these fires out. But then you'll notice we switched to a westerly condition, and on Thursday, things are pretty gusty here out of the west. But we'll worry about that here coming up tomorrow also. So you can see the big switch coming up as we go from where we are today to Thursday. Now, here's that high pressure here, and this is what drives these strong offshore winds, known as the Santa Ana winds here across Southern California. But as you see, as we go through Wednesday, that pressure gradient is relaxing, and by the time we get in towards Thursday, we're switching things up and start bringing those winds out of a more westerly direction. You see that high pressure has vacated the area. Northern California also getting some decent gusty northerly winds and some northeast winds across the Bay Area, and you see them across the Sierra Nevada as well as we go through this morning. You see the winds kind of cut off here as we go through this afternoon. Turn things a bit more subtly off the coastline here. Still some northerly winds as we go through tonight, but then the next system will arrive. We've got some rainfall coming in here for portions of California as well. I don't want to leave that out. We're going to go over that in some detail as we go through the video here this morning. Excuse me. And you can see we got some gusty winds coming, some strong northwest winds after that front moves through and down across some of the Bay Area as we go on in through Thursday as well. So a lot of stuff going on here. Sacramento, California, talking about midweek snow forecast. We're watching this one closely. You can see a few inches of some snowfall here. Snow level starting off at 4,000, rising to 5,000 on Thursday. Could be some minor, maybe some moderate impacts here for some locations. We'll look at that in a little bit more detail as well. And just a reminder, we have the king tides coming up this weekend as well. Probably some of the highest tides of the year. And we could have some active weather out there and some big waves rolling around some of the coastal areas. So we got to watch out for that also. King tides plus big waves plus low pressure equals beach erosion and all kinds of crazy stuff for the coastal areas. We got to watch that really closely. More on that here tomorrow. Now, if we take a look at, I'm gonna narrow this down a little bit here. We're gonna go to the European right here, and we're gonna scroll through this. I want to get the timing of the next system here. So as we go through, this is coming up. We got this next system rolling in as we go through Wednesday afternoon, and that one's not bad. It's got a bit of precipitation with the Bay Area, some of the Sacramento Valley, some snowfall for the higher terrain. Rainfall continues on in through the day Thursday for northwest portions, and then we've got a stronger storm rolling in here. Look at that bad boy off the Oregon coast, and that's bringing a pretty robust frontal system all the way down towards the Bay Area, probably the central coast as well. It rounds Point Conception and brings some precipitation down towards Southern California as we go through the weekend. So maybe a little bit of a taste of winter here for Southern California. We'll see how that one trends over the next few days. And we probably have another system coming next week as well, and maybe even additional systems after that. Now, if we take a look at the GFS, actually, let me update that because I think we have 12Z data coming in, and we do. There goes Wednesday's system here. Again, the Bay Area, nice little rainfall, some snow for the higher terrain. And it looks like it jumped ahead a bit here, but that jumps ahead to the strong storm it has off the coastline. And you see it, this low pressure is a big disagreement with what the European is saying as far as placement, but that is a strong frontal system driving down into California, maybe even got some atmospheric river characteristics with it as well. Doesn't show much for Southern California, but we'll watch that closely. And then another system arrives as we go through Monday coming up. So we do have some active weather rolling in here. Now, total precipitation in inches. This is yesterday afternoon's European model run here. So we're going to scroll through this. There's our first system there, Wednesday and Thursday. Then we get the secondary one, the stronger system. You can see it bringing some heavy precipitation amounts. Look at that. Pegging up 2-3 inches, maybe for some of the Bay Area, good amounts for some of the central coast, and then another system early the next week, and then maybe another system as we go through the later portion of the following week as well. So yeah, we'll continue to break these systems down one by one. The first one starts to arrive on the day Wednesday. You can see it looks like Wednesday afternoon is when that precip starts across northwest. Looks like the Bay Area late Wednesday night, Thursday morning for that first system. Now, taking a look at 24-hour snow totals here. So I'm going to run through the first system. There we go. This is through Thursday afternoon. You can see some decent amounts here. So they might be upping some of these totals. You saw that Sacramento had this on the lower side, like between 1, 4, 5 inches or something like that. And then that system moves through. Another system rolls through as we go through the weekend. Another round of snowfall. This one gets down a little bit further south across the southern Sierra Nevada. And then another one early next week. And maybe we'll get some more as we go through the following week as well. So yeah, something to look forward to there. And this is total snow here. I just left it total snow all the way through hour 144. This is last night's run. So this only goes through the weekend system there. But yeah, some nice amounts likely incoming. And I thought I'd visit the SnowTel site here, the snow water equivalent. You can see we're right somewhere around average. If you average everything out for California, you can see 92%, 71. And we typically don't get too much this time of year. So we're just starting things off here. So it doesn't look too crazy right now. And you can kind of see the visual diagram of that. The median is right here. So we're actually a little bit above average so far. But you see as we go on in towards, December and January, we start to build up some of that snow water equivalent across the higher terrain. But yeah, anyway, Southern California, head on a swivel today. Watch out for that fire danger here. And hopefully you are taking care of things if you're down near that Malibu fire right now. Click like and subscribe. We're going to break this all down again tomorrow. Hopefully everybody stays safe, and I will talk to you guys then.